Yo, how are we?
Good, my man. We got a little driving edition. We were actually offline. We were talking about how hilarious your dad's Instagram is.
Yeah, my dad's got the fire Instagram posts. If you guys ever want to see 4 minutes apart per post, follow my dad. It'll be in the show notes.
What's pretty good is he has good content and like he really means well. Like he gets the whole concept. The etiquette. It's a learning curve, is how I'll put it.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. But he'll shoot me the tag on the stories, which is always
Yeah.
nice. But we were hanging out for Thanksgiving. They came out here last Thursday and it was so funny. I'd be with them and then I'd go on Instagram like after dinner. I'd be like, when did you take these pictures? Like of like the spots we just had went to. It was so funny. Um,
He
but
gets it.
yeah,
Jimmy, it was nice to see them though.
yeah, the Canary Clan hit it, So the Airbnb was difficult, but that's just like a whole other story that it's not really worth going into. But that was funny. To pick them
Yeah.
up though, they wanted a cocktail, so I had a duffel bag, bought
Yeah.
two Tito nips, shooters is what they call them out here. Bought two
Yeah.
shooters, packed a bottle of ice, I had the Tito's, and then a mixer and two cups, two red Solo cups in the
Oh
duffel
yeah.
bag. So when I picked them up, handed them the bag, and they started making roadies as I'm driving back to the apartment.
Did they call them shooters out there?
Shooters. Yep.
That's gangster. I might go into a store and be like, hey, let me get four shooters and McGillicuddies.
It kind of sounds badass.
Yeah, I like saying like, oh, I'm getting a shooter. Like saying I want a few nips is kind of weird.
Yeah, now that you think about it, right? But
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want nips. Nah, I want
yeah,
shooters.
I want
Nips are just
shooters.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm out on nips. I'm in on shooters.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. It was great to see them. They just left yesterday, so me, myself, and I. It's nice having them out, but you're always thinking about, like where are they? Do they need a ride? Not that I couldn't get
Yeah.
them a lift, but now I just have to worry about myself again, which is good. So, how was your Thanksgiving?
Dude, it was nice. I have a small family and so typically we would do Thanksgiving at my aunt and uncle's. They were living in Wayland, but they just moved like 3 weeks ago, so they don't have that house anymore, and they moved to Florida, which was
Okay.
kind of a long time coming. But we decided to do it at the Capitol Grill.
Ooh.
So I actually didn't have a Thanksgiving dinner. Unfortunately, my aunt and uncle couldn't make it. Just like some travel shit came up, so it was like me, my mom, dad, and my brother got a pretty bomb meal at Capitol Grill, and then shout out to Donna Jerry, who's a nurse practitioner I work with. I was complaining how I'm not gonna have turkey. I was like, I don't even like turkey, but I like stuffing a lot. And this nurse practitioner actually invited me to her family's Thanksgiving on Friday because her family was getting in that day. And I went because I just said, fuck it, like it'll be kind of cool to see how other people live. Just such a dope family, and they were so welcoming, and like I'm appreciative that she actually like pulled through and wanted me there, because like that could have just been a weird blank invite, but like her family was awesome. So I kind of got two full Thanksgiving dinners, and it was really nice. It was nice to feel fat and happy.
Yeah, man. It's funny you say that because like I'm the opposite. One,
Yeah,
I like turkey, but I just do not enjoy eating it. And then
yeah.
two, like I'd rather just give me a fat steak, right? Like,
Yeah. So you would have loved Thursday then. That's the thing. Like a fat steak does the job for
right.
sure. Um, but I can't complain. It's nice to just like get to chill. I missed out on seeing my high school buddies, unfortunately, the night prior to Thanksgiving. I got some like side effects from my booster shot that were like fine. I just honestly I felt like drunk. I was like, I just can't go out right now.
I know. I forgot that was the one of the biggest bar nights
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah, I've done it so many years, and also my best friend from home, Zach Davidson, he got engaged literally like the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So I saw him, and I usually chill with him and his family. So it kind of was we were like texting like, oh, we need to see each other because he lives in New York now, and then we were both like, why the fuck do we need to see each other? It was just a
Yeah.
year engagement, so it ended up being good. Yeah, that's my update, man. Other than that, shit's been solid. Oh, Dan, I didn't even tell you this. And for listeners, you guys might be interested. I got another med school interview,
Wow.
which is pretty tight. It's in Idaho.
Okay.
So I need to learn some shit about Idaho to not sound like an idiot. I know this thus far. Boise is booming. Boise State is sick at football. They got really cool turf, but that's about it. So I think I need to hit some research on Idaho. If we have any listeners from Idaho, I've heard you have good potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was pretty much it was kind of out of nowhere. It's a really awesome school. I just like I didn't even think interviews were still coming out, so I'd kind of been checked out. So I gotta get back on that, you know.
I feel you on that. And I don't know where I'm so bad with geography, but after Idaho, just shoot down south. I think you would hit Arizona. So
Yeah,
it's
dude, I actually think I'm planning. We'll talk offline about it.
yeah.
I'm trying to plan like my final hurrah road trip or fucking just party city prior to med school, and I'm trying to parlay San Diego, Phoenix, and Las Vegas within like a 2-week span.
Just rip it.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even for the listeners. I don't even mean just like go out and get shit faced. It's like there's so much to see in those areas. I fell in love with San Diego the last time I visited. It was just heaven on earth. I've never been to Phoenix. I definitely want to see the Grand Canyon before it gets like too late. And Las Vegas, I would party my ass off. Confirmed.
Roger that. Yeah, I think it's like a four hour drive north, maybe 5 or 6. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
To Las Vegas or Grand Canyon?
I think Grand Canyon's 4.
Okay.
So then I don't know, dude. It doesn't even matter right now. But yeah.
Whatever. Catch me up because I'm doing all the talking. How's Vasa Fitness?
Vasa Fitness, yeah, I'm repping because I'm shooting there right after this call. It's cool. It's just crazy how, just coming from strength and conditioning at such a regimented, like, form, everything perfect, put your weights back type of strength and conditioning environment around coaches for so long and athletes.
Yeah.
That when you step into a commercial gym, it's just chaos. Like plates are everywhere. Form is kind of gross. I mean, obviously there are people there who know what they're doing. But the biggest thing I've noticed is just the obesity.
It's
out
insane.
Here, yeah, it's funny. For as fit as Arizona is, there are a lot of just obese people. And I'm not sure why. Everyone has their own reasons. Most of it is just because life happens and people have kids or jobs, which has been most of the reasons why. But it's just interesting to hear people's stories. I met this guy, his brother. So I did like not an interview, personal training, like consultation, where you bring him in, talk to him, bring him into an in-body scan, see how much skeletal muscle mass they have, body fat percentage. You run them through the numbers, and then you bring them through a workout. And this guy I met, his name Cody, his brother played for the Chicago Bulls and now he's out in China playing. But Cody, the brother, who I was talking to, developed multiple sclerosis. Cody's 36, and you can tell by kind of the way he speaks, it's a little slower. It's not slurred, just slower. I think for the listeners, MS is pretty much plaque builds up on the endings of nerves, which blocks like the signal from the brain to muscle contraction. So everything's a lot slower. And because the brain can't send those signals out, or excuse me, because the signals can't reach the nerve endings at 100%, because the plaque blocks that, atrophy of the muscles starts to happen. They become weaker because they can't receive the signals as well. I think that's a very basic overview of it.
One thing I want to add to that, to kind of visualize it, your nerves have insulation called like ganglion, and those degenerate. So like your signal doesn't propagate well, like it doesn't shoot as quickly as it should, and it doesn't reach the nerve ending. So you're kind of losing the thing that insulates the signal. And so as Dan said, you stop contracting muscle, like effectively or at all, you know?
Hence the reason why they start to atrophy, or in other terms, just get smaller. So yeah, he was a basketball player, played all throughout high school, obviously, tall dude, like 6'4", 6'5". And, you know, we just had this great conversation throughout the whole training where he was like, I used to dunk. I used to, you know, be able to do 10 pull-ups, and we did pull-ups because he wanted to do them, and he could only do 2, separated by like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like the mental toll it takes on you, saying you used to be able to do A, B, and C, and you can't now, is just like tough. And we would do some things that weren't hard in terms of just like a TRX row, and like that would get tiring. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, fuck. And this was on a Monday afternoon. So you're just like, all right, brings you back to reality. And speaking to him was awesome. And he reminded me of Ming. So I showed him my tattoo of Ming and talked about all that. And I had told him, I was like, Cody, you know, the doctors told you couldn't do A, B, and C. You obviously have worked through that. And as your, you know, trainer, I'm going to tell him that, you know, you have a greater potential than you know of. And he believes in that, because you don't want to look at your trainer and they're telling you the same thing the doctor is, especially if you already proved the doctor wrong, right? And it's not the doctor's fault. That's just, you know, statistically what happens. But, you know, so it's just cool, very refreshing to speak to someone like that. So shout out to Cody. And then I have this other woman I just met, hadn't been in the gym in years. She helps farmers in Phoenix grow, you know, these certain crops. But what she does in the mix of it all is grows algae, and then provides those farmers with the algae that, and then it kind of like the microbiome and the algae like flourish throughout the farmers' crops and helps them like grow. Crazy, man. Like,
that's insane.
You just meet some freaking cool people. I'm like, so you're saving the world. So that's theoretically like what you're doing. She's a botanist. So
botany. Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
So yeah, it's just refreshing. I just talked to like some just brand new people and just hear their story. That's kind of like my favorite part about it. That's why I missed kind of the personal training. Strength and conditioning in the collegiate level is great, but like you can't connect with people like that as well.
I also think like you had made such a good point about your client, Cody. You know, he's hearing all this shit from the doctor, like you can't. And I think one thing trainers need to keep in perspective, and I know any trainer I've come across that I think is good has this outlook. You're allowed to inspire hope under reasonable like expectations, right? So it's like you don't have to tell this kid he can't do it, because you have no bearing and you have no way to say he can't. You can tell him like we can improve. And I think it's really empowering to hear something different, because I think sometimes people get lost and have a very negative outlook on health. It's a lot of you can't, and a lot of you won't, and a lot of like, here's what's wrong with you. I think we need to flip the script to say like, here's what's right and here's how we can improve. Just as a whole. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into that because that's a huge statement I just made, but I just think there's a very negative outlook on health all the time, and I'm hoping that it changes and that we can begin to see it as like a really positive, fun thing, you know?
Yeah, and you just, like you said, you kind of provide this outlook of hope without promising you're gonna, have them running and dunking on people again,
Yeah, it's just, it really doesn't take much. It's like, I see all the time, and it's whenever people discuss exercise or health, or like, I'll use it from an exercise standpoint. It's always like, I don't have time. Like, I'm never going to look good. Like, I don't this, I don't that. And it's not even about the complaining that gets me mad. It's just that people are trained to say, oh, if I'm not good at this, like, what's the point? And like, it's so negative. It's like, why don't we start saying like, if I do this, I will feel better, and like take pride in like these little accomplishments you make, like, I remember when I started at the gym, the thing that got me pumped the most was PR. Like, I liked hitting a personal record, and like, that's what my addiction was. But it could be as simple as like, oh, today I walked a couple more steps. Today I did like 5 more minutes of cardio. These things compound, and I just wish people saw how like awesome that is. And I just wish people were happier about health and not like pissed off all the time, because it seems people are very angry about health as a whole.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about that, because I had this thought on the way home last night, kind of late, just driving back, and I was like, it was what was it? Oh, it was like, you could study for a test all night or for a year, and then what you see on that test is nothing you studied, right? So it's not guaranteed. You could put all your effort into getting a girl or getting a guy that you've always wanted, or you want to start back a relationship. And it's really not guaranteed to work. But like, if you put in the work for your health, like, it's legit guaranteed. Like, it's 100% ROI. Like, it's just a time thing. If the effort's there, it's just a matter of time. But like I said, that's obviously so easy to say. But yeah, it's just guaranteed to work. Like, investing in your health, like, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, it is crazy. It's like, it drives me fucking nuts, and like, it's not even to be cynical, because I can empathize and I can sympathize with people that are like intimidated to start. That's legitimate. Like, there should be, if it's something new, like, by all means, there should be intimidation and question, and like, fear is a fair point, but it's just like, it's frustrating because I know all the positives, and I just wish it was like more ingrained into culture that like, you gotta take care of yourself physically, because it leads to emotional consequences, right? Like, that are good. So we just I could go on forever about it, but I digress.
Go ahead.
No, all you.
I was gonna say this. So the algae woman who grows algae, I had her yesterday, and so usually, like, they come in and you sit them down, you do the in-body scan, discuss the in-body scan to them, and all this stuff. And so we're sitting there, and she like, so I take a seat, but she doesn't sit down. She like stands on one leg and like has a knee, like the other knee on like the chair. Not like, she didn't sit, and I could tell she was very anxious or nervous. And so I was like, is this the first time like you've been in the gym in a while or ever? And she's like, yeah, like, it took me 6 months to just sign up, like, let alone come into the gym. So like, she was crazy nervous before, like, she couldn't obviously sit. So then we were just shooting the shit for like the hour. I was with her and it was awesome. And, you know, towards the end, she's like sitting down, she's forgetting she's talking to me, and in terms of just not thinking about where she is and social anxiety and all this stuff. And it was just told her, I was like, yo, it's insane that you already like just came here. So like good for you. And like that's a step forward, you know, in
Oh
her book.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just as a trainer, doing it online and now in person, the in-person stuff kind of resonates even harder because it's like you're there talking to them. So I think it's been making me a better trainer for sure, and just having a better outlook on life too, you know.
Yeah, and I think also like first of all, congrats to your client. That's just such a huge step to come in. But I also have to realize a friend of mine who I work at Equinox had mentioned this to me the other day, but like when I'm working out, I just look like the biggest asshole ever.
Hmm.
Like I'm just grunting and going crazy. And like it's just because that's my flow. And
Yeah.
I was thinking from the outside, I was like, damn, like if somebody saw me and I'm not like that jacked, imagine what they're thinking with like this huge trainer who might be like super nice. It's
Right.
scary as fuck, you know? And so I think what you're saying is like being personable and like making it a little more normal. Like, hey, you can be really big, but still be like a human.
Right.
I honestly think a lot of people are scared mainly for that reason. Like they're just intimidated of these large people.
That and simply gym equipment, right? Like
Yeah, just it looks weird.
there's this like cage we have in the center where it's all everything you need. But I hate going in there because like I don't want to be in a cage. Like you're in a legit cage. There's no obviously overpass above you, but like
Yeah.
it's for personal training. And I'm like, do you feel comfortable like midway through the training session? I'll be like, do you feel comfortable just walking into the gym and picking up a dumbbell barbell or just using one of the machines? And typically they're like, no, and they feel safe in that cage. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna like use other machines just so you feel comfortable. So when you come in here without me on a different day, like you know what you're doing and just set them
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean?
You know what I meant
But
to ask you, and I'm curious because I've asked the trainers at Equinox this as well. What do you do in the days you're not training your client? Like you provide them a program. Are you keeping tabs on it, or do you kind of just check in like once a week, or what does that
yeah,
look like with your clients?
good question. So what I like to do is be as flexible as possible for them. I know life is
Yeah.
crazy, jobs, blah, blah, blah. So I'll say, hey, if you want to schedule every Monday, sure. If you want to text me every Sunday and figure out the best day to do it for the week, that works for me too. And then what I also do is like me personally, I like to know what they're doing outside of the gym, or excuse me, in the gym, but when I'm not with them. So
Yeah.
when we come back on a day that maybe we didn't schedule, so say, you know, on Tuesday, I know that we're going to be working day two. Oh shit, I couldn't come in. They hit day two. If I have 4 days for them, we're going to hit day three on Wednesday. So I know
Yeah.
where we are. So that's for transparency on my end. And I know what they're doing without my eyes there. Um, I like to do that. Most trainers just give you the one workout of the day or workout of the week kind of thing, which is
Yeah.
fine. I'm doing a lot more work than I need to, but I just have so much pre-built shit. I'm just like, I'll just send you it. I'll put it in a Google Drive so they can put in their weights and I can kind of just see it and fuck around with it.
I like that.
Yeah, so I just put in a Google sheet. And then I give them like a little flyer in terms of nutrition. I call it like Dan's grocery thing, which you can find on dancanariaperformance.com.
And
You can download for free.
you gave to me over a year and a half
I
ago.
know, crazy, man. Nothing's changed. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I try and make sure that I set them up with everything I can, and then at the end of the day, it's up to them to, you know, coming in stuff. So
I
yeah,
really like that. I like that piece of the accountability. Like I think having them keep you up to date on what their gym performance is like when you're not physically with them is great. Not just for keeping tabs on progression, but also like I think inherently it gives them the drive to want to do it because they're doing it for someone else, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I've noticed with George, I use George as the example because he's the only person I give any training advice to currently. But he always texts me when he hits a new top set, like every single day, and it's so jacked up because his strength is just it's skyrocketing right now. But
Right.
he told me that's really important because he's like, I don't want to just fuck you over because like I give him the time of day, and I was like, it would be irrelevant if he didn't text me, I wouldn't care. But it's cool, like knowing that's a trigger for some people is like just him knowing that like he's doing it partially for me is motivating. You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah.
accountability piece is huge.
You know what's funny? On the other spectrum of that is I'll have clients who will forget to contact me and I won't contact them on purpose,
Yeah.
depending on like where they are in their training, just to see like if they reach out, almost like how much do you care? Like I'm always hitting you up. Um, and sometimes I'll come back and be like, I was scared to text you because like you'd be mad. Like I'm like, no, like I'm here for you. You pay me. You already paid me. Like I already technically have what I want, theoretically. What I really want is you to hit your goal so you feel good and then pass on a reference or a recommendation for someone else to me. Like that's the whole point. But it's really to just make you feel better. So
Yeah. It's a great world.
yeah, man,
Yeah, no, I feel it.
bananas. Can we get a workout in at Equinox? Or what's it
Yeah,
like with
man.
COVID back in Boston?
So still masks, but if you cut, I mean, when you're here, we'll just whenever you want, of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Like my parents are like, "Do we need a mask? Do we need a mask?" I'm like, "No, like COVID, you could lick the ground, you're good. You know, like you're
Yeah,
fine."
it's very strange. I mean, it's just weird that it's Boston. Like I didn't really care until it's just been going on and on and on and on. And like if they presented any end game like for the city of Boston, then whatever. Like masks, I don't mind. I just haven't heard any suggestion that they're gonna go away. And it's I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. When you're here though, yeah, we'll hit many workouts.
And we gotta go up to Rob Hulse up in Merrimack.
Definitely want to work out with him because that kid is a fucking lunatic in a great way. I've been following his stuff, man. You ever need a kick in the ass and you like watch him train, it's unreal.
Yeah, I really like Rob. Like you could still feel his energy every time I see him on Instagram or a story. I'm like, dude, I gotta see this kid.
Yeah, we need to
Um,
work out with Rob, a run with John Tang.
yes,
Um,
yo, oh, dude, that's what I miss out here, man. I miss so running out here, I'm gonna be honest, kind of sucks. Like it's
yeah, because it's so
just
hot, dude.
no, that's not the issue. It's flat. Like a mile feels like 20 minutes.
Really?
I'll be running a mile. I'm like, this has been like a half hour. It's like 8 minutes. Like,
Because it just isn't challenging, or what is why?
it's just so flat. Like you look out and you're like, I can see for miles,
That's
but you'll
fucked.
run a mile or like you'll be running for you think is 2 miles. You're like, all right, this has definitely been 2 miles. And you look, it's like 1.25, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What I've realized is the buildings in Boston and everything's so built up that it like if time flies. But when you can just see forever, it's tough. And right now, the average temp is like 78. And then in the morning it's 50.
Oh,
That's
that's
it.
so nice,
It's
dude.
not, it doesn't even hit 80. Like right now it's 82, but like 80 is great
Yeah.
too. Um,
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
nice not to wear 10,000 layers, but when I'm back, I do want to just rip like a nice cold Boston, like early
Yeah.
Saturday morning with a nice Dunkies
We need a
coffee
good
kit.
we need a good run, a good lift, see Rob Holes, in person podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe we'll see if we can get two in.
Yeah,
Um,
man. I'm really fucking excited for you to come home. It's gonna be good. I mean, I'm pumped. You're like living it up out there, but we miss you, dude.
I miss you guys too. It's honestly tough being out here this close to coming
Yeah,
back.
because
Like
you're
it's a
you're
mental
itching.
game.
You're itching, right? Yeah.
Um, but no, it's good. It'll be great to see everyone. Um, and I don't know if I mean I definitely haven't told the listeners, but like I bought a one-way ticket so I can take my time seeing everyone and all that. Now by the end of the month, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. I already teased you, Jake, on
Yeah.
the other night, but it was a good decision. It's not happening just yet, but there could be a big training for your boy for next August. A big
Yeah.
event. So we'll see. But we'll keep people
We'll keep.
updated.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. I'm
Have you
hoping you
seen
pull
the
the.
go
No,
ahead.
say what you're gonna say. I was gonna say I'm hoping you pull the trigger on it because oh, that
That would be
journey is just
fun.
gonna be that journey is gonna be fun. Yeah, no doubt.
Um and then shout out to Louis. Have you seen Louis lately on Instagram?
Oh, he looks awesome.
Jake's dude, he's like sponsored by like TB12 and then the things that go on your legs and like massage them, whatever they're called,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
air.
The thing Nick Barry uses.
That a million different companies have like are sponsoring them. So I actually haven't talked to him in like a couple months, to be honest
You
with
want
you.
to
But
you want to know what's dope with Louis though? And I kind of knew immediately when we had him on the podcast, which was the first time I met him. Dude, he's so real. Like you can feel the authenticity in his voice. It's like he's not doing this whole 10 for 10 thing as a bullshit gimmick to get fame. It's like this kid believes so wholeheartedly, like his purpose is to fucking play hockey and skate across the whole country so that he can raise money for this horrible disease he beat, you know? And like
yeah,
you can feel that when he starts talking. It's not this isn't an act. And it's like I knew right when he got the first form sponsorship, I was like, he's gonna fucking blow up, man, because he really believes this stuff. Like I know he's told you this offline many times, but that's like part of his fabric, and it's just crazy. I'm so happy for him, bro.
maybe we should get him on and do like a check-in, you know?
Yeah, because I'm curious. I'm curious, like what's changed. I mean, he's a star. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I was thinking about I should just do a flight out there and just get a couple training sessions in with him, see how he's doing. And so,
I mean, he
yeah,
looks he looks peeled, man. Like, yeah, Louis, shout out, dude. Uh, we were his top podcast. How crazy is that?
crazy, man. Hopefully he hears this one tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
It
I'll
was
reach
cool
out
to
to
see
him.
some people. Some people reached out. They're like, yo, you're either my number one or top five. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's no, it's really great.
It's more than my
I
mom just listening.
yeah, it's it's more. Oh my god, my mom has listened like she listens every week, but to like 10 minutes, and she's like, "Oh, I just heard you and Dan talking." I'm like, "So you missed the whole episode."
So funny, man. No, it's good though. I would like to definitely do a refresher though. I was talking to this other uh, online strength conditioning nutrition coach who went to
Yeah,
my college. Not Mike Soares, but he was talking to me about this like podcast software that's like wicked easy that we
that
could
we could use.
potentially. Yeah. It just has like the sound effects and it's just a little bit cleaner. I
That would
think like
help.
the only thing is like our content, like we at least do this and get it out there, but it could be a lot better if we just kind of add a couple things and edit, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah,
So
no, man, it's so funny. Like when we have a really good episode, we like we get so pumped up. Because it's there. Like it's just so much fun. I mean, it's easy as fuck to talk to you, of course, but um, yeah,
yep.
we'll be in touch. I'm pretty pumped. This Thanksgiving break got me a little juiced up, you know.
I know, man. You're all carved up, guy. But yeah, I'll so yeah, man. I gotta leave in like 10 minutes, hitting Vasa. But yeah, it was great to talk to you. I missed you for a week, and
I
I
did
will
too, man.
see your jacked ass in very soon. That's what I'll say, very soon.
You're gonna surprise when you're fucking coming in.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it,
man.
dude.
I miss you too. To the listeners, I'm happy we just pumped out some content. We just want to get something out there. You guys are awesome. Shout out Louie. You're really great, man. And until next week. Peace.
Peace.